to do contractions. So he couldn't say isn't or can't or I'm. He would have to say I am, is not. And there was an episode where they knew it was a fake because he used a contraction. Thought y'all wanted to know that. Anywho, what I'm trying to say is, thank goodness this crazy world isn't real. Because, you know, once you get over the shock of even addressing and getting outside the box enough to even consider this radical premise, after a while you start to see it has some benefits. What'd you find out? Okay. You'll start to see that it has some benefits. Because if this were real, there'd be no hope. How long have we been trying to fix this world so that it operated off of fairness and equality and abundance, and there were not always the haves and have-nots, but there was more of a balance toward opportunity, toward happiness, toward freedom? Why is it that all of the societies were based on someone controlling someone else, someone oppressing someone else? And how many activities and methods and schemes and philosophies have we tried to try and equalize that playing field? How many of them have been successful? How many of the wars have really given us lasting peace? Is the war on drugs working? No? Well, wait a minute, now, because haven't we spent a lot of money on that? How much money have we spent on the war on drugs, and what could we have been doing with it if... You mean we're like throwing money down the drain? How about the war on poverty? Surely people, everybody... Huh? What happened? Okay, how about the war to end all wars? Is that a World War II, World War I slogan? This will be the war to end all... No, that was a long time. It's how many wars have... Yeah, but if we just keep on doing it, it's got to work, right? Okay, how about the way that you get fixed crime is you put the criminals in jail? Now, is that working? Wait, I haven't checked. What's the recidivism rate in the prison system? I know in the state of Michigan, I did some research a few years ago, it was 73% recidivism, which means that everybody that went to prison, 73% of them came back, I forget, within a certain time frame. So certainly the way to get rid of criminals is to put them in jail. Everybody knows that. Who questions that? I never heard people questioning that on the mainstream news. How about you? And yet, if you look at the track record objectively, these things don't work. And when will they work based on the track record? Okay, let's take one more. The practice of medicine is probably, formally, 3,000 years old. So, at the pace that we're going, when will everyone be healthy all the time? Okay, make it easier. At the pace we've been going, when will doctors be healthy all the time? At the pace we're going, pretty soon nobody will die anymore. Because we know, huh?
No one will be living anymore.
Oh, that's not what we intended. Practice of medicine. So the things that we have accepted and that nobody questions and that, see, Carolyn is the kind of person that raises questions like that, and that's why she gets kicked out of most places. Okay? That's why, the politicians don't even want her there. The insurance companies don't even want her in that discussion when they're selling insurance. Okay. when they're talking about how to protect yourself, you buy an insurance policy. And she would say, no, you already have a policy when you trust in God. That's my protection. It's kind of a holistic approach. It takes care of everything. Kind of like the munchkins that didn't have to do anything. They just kind of have fun all day. Well, you can't have fun all day. That's lazy. Who told you having fun all day is lazy? Don't ask it. Okay. So, what I wanted to just kind of reiterate in this segment, that A Course in Miracles is not the only spiritual treatise or in generally authoritative source that says that this is an illusion. Thank God it's an illusion, and that everybody's okay. Wouldn't that make you happy? Isn't that good news? Who's not happy right now? Who's going, yeah, but?
The ego.
Awesome! Okay, that is what the ego does. How many of you have found that every time you think you find the answer to something, it leads to another question? Who set it up that way?
The ego.
She's the ego.
Do not, you're in a position where you have discovered. Okay, you're in this position, what is the expression where you're caught? The ego is caught. So I didn't say you can control it yet, but I want you to see the broad scope at which it operates. And it's all planned. What is the motto, the ego's motto, Course in Miracles students?
Secret do not find.
You ever find your life like that? You keep looking for the way to success, and when you find it, it lets you down ultimately. Remember when if you had that new car or that new house that you lived happily ever after, and it never happened, did it? Seek, but do not find. And so while it's pointing you in the direction that what you're looking for isn't, you never discover where it is. And in the meantime, he controls your insanity. Why does the ego want to control you?
If you're gone, he's gone.
Because if you ever discover the trick, you'll stop believing in it. And when you stop, remember how you used to say something, but you had to knock on wood? You don't have to knock on wood. It has no power. The only thing that's sustaining this insane misperception of ourselves is that we fuel it by believing it, by thinking that it's real. And so it pops out of the quantum field and manifests. So if you want to start to get rid of your ego, let's stop believing it has power. And in one of our segments later, I'm going to show you how to take the ego and manage it to work to your benefit. Change its purpose, okay? Rachel?
You go first, too.
Okay?
I've heard the saying that at best, the ego is suspicious, at worst, it's vicious.
That's its only range. That's the one that questions everything. And the Course says that the ego analyzes and the Holy Spirit accepts. And you're saying the ego's entire range is from suspicious to vicious. And you really get to it, it's going to get downright vicious with you. Well said.
So the ego will make you feel like you're in a cat and mouse chase.
Exactly. Or it'll make you feel like you're in a war and it's important for you to win. And the Holy Spirit will show you that there is no war. Who's stupid enough to have a fight with God? Now, how do you define God again? And then you say, yeah, but I can do it my way. You see how hypocritical? I mean, that doesn't make sense anymore, does it? So thankfully, God is benign, benevolent, in all of the forms that emanate from what God is. And what is God again? Okay, so if you see anything, if you want a good sign of when you're getting crazy again, it's when you're seeing anything that isn't loving. Easy. Let's take a break. Did they bring it yet? Did it get here yet?